everybody, and welcome to VoxelVixens.
Ooh, smooth.
Oh, so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, we're just trying to do a little talking sort of podcast kind of thing.
Keep up some variety.
Yeah, we didn't want to do just gameplay because we actually talk a lot better when we're not staring at a game sometimes. And we do have a lot of thoughts about things that we want to get out to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
We think
Video game thoughts.
Well, video game thoughts, nerdy thoughts, etc. This is more of like a generic nerd podcast sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you can put this on in the background of whatever you're doing and just sort of listen to us talk about really nerdy shit for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just nerdy things. We're gonna nerd out.
Yeah, basically. And I think, I think it'd probably be pretty fun.
You feel so... what's it called, like a talk show host.
You feel like a talk show host?
Yeah.
We're on the radio now.
Oh, hey, radio
man.
people.
Oh.
How's it going?
Oh, yeah, we're on the radio.
On YouTube.
The radio tube. God, you know what? I think that YouTube should make something sort of like a radio thing.
Like a podcast thing?
Yeah.
To beat out iTunes or something like that?
Yeah,
because they did that video game
there's
thing.
There's some podcast sites that you can put podcasts onto, but there's nothing that's really like just, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and upload this podcast for free or something like that. And you can't really do something like that without doing something like this and uploading a video onto YouTube.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
It does seem nice. I mean, there's that video game thing they started doing. YouTube gaming?
YouTube gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't we get into that?
I don't know.
Should...
Is that important? I don't know.
Is that important?
I don't actually switch over to that thing. I just watch normal YouTube. I mean, does it help?
I don't know. I've never actually looked at it, honestly.
I switched over and was like, oh, this is too much. It was like, everything got darker.
Everything got darker?
It looked... It looked a little like, I'm not saying it looked like Twitch, it just looked like
I'm not saying it looked like Twitch,
hey.
but it looked like Twitch.
But it had the channels to look for,
So it was Twitch.
Yeah. Twitch,
so they're just
Hitbox.
copying Twitch, huh?
Well, it was, a competition for that, wasn't it?
A competition?
Well, not a competition, it was just, they were trying to do what Twitch does so that they can keep YouTubers on YouTubers.
Oh, well, they already have the YouTube streaming, so that kind of makes sense.
But I think they wanted to do that mainly for the gaming stuff.
Yeah, the gaming community, because
and then
Twitch is for gamers.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we should probably look at that eventually.
I never use it. I don't know who really uses it. I mean...
I don't know.
I don't know. You can switch over to it, and I was like, nah, no, I'm gonna do that.
I know that people... I know that people watch plenty of, like, Let's Players just
I do.
on their own. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot.
I have a bunch of Let's Players that I'm subscribed to.
Oh, I know. I have some that I just, like, forget about, and then I'm like, oh, wait, I love this guy. And then I'm like, I love watching them, and it's just, oh, it's amazing. I like watching video games. But, I mean, I don't switch over. I mean...
I don't watch Twitch a lot, either.
No, me neither. I only watch if they're, like...
In fact, I watch a lot of, like, streams that were from Twitch uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, there's, like, 2 people that I watch usually from, like, Twitch or Hitbox, and they usually just put up their content on YouTube, so, I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, there's a couple of streamers that I watch on YouTube, basically. I mean, there's this one guy named Gopher, and he does a lot of, like, live stream things, but then he has, like, a side channel where he just posts all of them anyway.
Wow.
So it's just sort of like, oh, yeah, if I really want to watch Gopher live stream, I could just go watch.
Well, I know, yeah, see, I mean, like, it's nice to watch someone, I mean, if I see it, like, I'm going around, they're like, hey, we're doing a live stream today at this time, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's this time already.
You know, actually, recently, I subscribed to this one person, and they've been doing YouTube streaming, and it comes up in your subscription box.
My subscription
It shows
box
up and it's like
work.
live right now and stuff like that. You can go and join them.
How does yours work? Mine never works.
Mine?
It like says it's live. You click on it. It's like, oh, that's been gone since like 3 hours ago.
You missed it.
What the fuck?
Missed out, bro. Yeah, no, mine always is on time.
Oh, mine's never on time.
Oh, well.
Mine's all like, it wasn't on.
This one guy actually segue into the next little thing we're doing. By the way, I should probably explain this. We are going to be doing a sort of like talking about our interests thing. Each of us will do every week, because we're thinking about doing this weekly. Who knows if it's actually going to happen.
We do games weekly.
We do game recordings
because
weekly,
I only come over once a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes. On rare occasions, I can come over twice a week.
Yeah. Those are the rare times.
But no, we usually record stuff in one day. And,
in one day bursts, yeah. And then you see all of them over a period of time as we slowly release them out. Basically, whenever I actually feel like getting on my desktop and uploading things.
I need to start working on editing stuff so I can take off some of the load on you, and or I don't know how that sounded.
Oh yeah, you can take a load on me, baby.
But no,
but we are planning to start trying to do this weekly if people like it, and
it's us for. I mean, we
usually
relax.
Talk
anyway.
We usually do this talk thing anyways. We're usually sitting here and talking like this, just eating snacks and enjoying ourselves. So
nums.
Might as well just do it live for you. Well, not really live, but you know what I mean.
To be honest, this might get uploaded today.
It should.
It should.
It should be uploaded today. If it's not
Depends
uploaded today, it'll be uploaded tomorrow. I should get these up at least every week on Monday. By Monday at the latest.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're just a little bit starting off. I mean, we're not big. We have 22 subscribers.
22 subscribers as of today.
Yay!
Thank you for subscribing, whoever that was.
Yay.
But anyway, so every week we're going to talk about something. Each of us have a topic in mind for each week.
I gotta do homework. God.
Yes, we have to do our homework on
homework
whatever
on
topic.
top of my actual real homework. Damn it.
Yeah, but you have a week to do it. Just don't procrastinate to the last day.
I'm already procrastinating on my actual homework. I don't have the book yet. That's not my fault, but I'm still procrastinating. I could go to the library and learn. I ain't gonna do that.
But, we're each going to talk about a specific topic weekly. It's always going to be related to some sort of nerdy thing, either Let's Plays, or games, or movies,
or what's happening,
comics, anime, maybe.
Yeah, conventions. You know.
Conventions.
Comic-Con, I'm gonna go with my family. That's awkward.
we could probably talk about Comic-Con after you get back from that.
Actually, I was thinking if, set up write a couple, words, or, not words, but, a scavenger hunt for me to go look around. Just do anything, and I'll go find it. Comic-Con's huge.
Just try and find this at Comic-Con.
I got 4 days. You tell me, you write down some things, give me a huge list, and I'll go find them, and I'll, take a couple snap
If anyone
pictures.
else wants to add to that list, you can just leave a comment down below.
Oh yeah, anything, Wookiee. Oh, I can find a Wookiee. Don't worry.
Go find a Wookiee. We can keep track and see how well you did at your scavenger hunt.
I'll get a list, and hey, it makes it fun running around there anyway.
Yeah. Well, the place is so big.
The place is huge. I've been there, once, and it was... My feet hurt.
Yeah. Okay. But... So, yeah, we were going to talk about, little nerdy sort of things every week. And this week, my topic is Pokemon, because we are recording this on Pokemon Day, and I am the biggest Pokemon fangirl in the world.
I like Pokemon. I'm not, super nerdy like her with Pokemon, but hey, I love Pokemon. It's just...
I did recently start getting her to play Pokemon Y.
I don't have any of the new handheld consoles, or, I've only had up to the SP, or,
Yes, the Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, that's all I have up to. And since it played, the old Pokemon games, I can only play the old Pokemon games. Yeah. I don't have any, Fire
DS's.
Red, or...
Oh, you don't have Fire Red?
Yeah, I know, I was upset about that, too. And
oh.
the highest I've gotten to was Generation 2.
Generation 2. So you've only really played red, blue, yellow...
I've kept up with Pokemon. I just don't play them. I mean, they're fun. Yeah, she started getting me into X, I believe.
Y. You're playing Y.
I'm playing Y?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't noticed.
You're playing the one with the weird eagly sort of...
Eagly?
Yeah, Yveltal is the legendary name.
I get them mixed up. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'm playing Y.
Yveltal is the legendary of destruction, so there you go.
Hey, that's me right there.
Basically. I mean, really, you go around and you destroy all of these barrels all the time.
They're just shiny. And, things that are, destructible, oh man, I would have a field day.
But, since it is Pokemon Day, and since yesterday, well, not really yesterday, technically today in Japan, but it was yesterday in practice. Yesterday, something new got released, and that would be Pokemon Moon and Pokemon Sun.
Awesome.
I know, I'm so excited. They didn't release anything really in terms of information. We got a couple of screenshots in the original trailer for it.
Yeah.
But it's only really concept art. All we saw like a Pokemon Center. It looked like a Pokeball, basically.
Yeah.
It was a kind of cool design. We saw some vehicles for some weird reason. There was a lot of cars and stuff, and there were Pokemon riding around in them.
Pokemon driving cars.
Well, there was a Blastoise that looked like it was driving a freaking, like,
hey, they're
fire
learning. They're
engine
starting
truck.
to be more human.
They were always like that, though. Have you ever seen the anime?
Have you? My mom was. It's funny. My mom somehow kept up with Pokemon too, and she was like, "What if Pokemon are really training us so that they could get more levels and be stronger, so they could take over the world?"
Oh man!
I'm like, "Whoa, mom, where is this coming from?"
Oh shit!
Pokemon are nice, and she's like, "Well, what if it was just?"
Are you sure?
Here's the thing. She was
You're
like,
playing a game about the destruction Pokemon.
I know, but she was like, "Well, what if it's just that, since we're gaining friendship with them, it's just that they don't want it to kill us and stuff." I'm like, "That's deep. That's deep."
We befriend them so they don't murder us.
Yes. I mean, they're using us, to be honest. I mean, they're strong.
Well, now there are Pokemon driving cars, apparently, in the newest game. Well,
they're learning.
It doesn't really seem like they're driving them.
Maybe
it
it's
seems
just
more
that
like
they're
they're riding them.
Yeah, and it was probably a human behind the,
Yeah.
Oh, well, it depends. If it's Japanese, they should be on the opposite side of the car, so.
So we saw in the concept art there was at least one vehicle that looked like it was almost like a traveling Pokemon Center, and there was another one that looked like it was like a fire engine that had a Blastoise in it.
Ooh, starting to be a little bit more modern with
Yeah, it seems like they're getting a lot more modern. It seems like they're really following up with, ever since, I mean, in Red and Blue, it was more like small villages, right?
Yeah.
And ever since, they've slowly been building things up again. As we got into, Black and White were the ones that you didn't get to play. But when we got into Black and White, there was this huge city in the middle of things. And of course, you know, now that you've been playing Y, that there's a huge city in the middle of Kalos.
Oh yeah, that thing is huge. And
it's only been getting bigger, and there are only bigger cities and bigger modernized places in the Pokemon world, so maybe they're just slowly...
It's just over time, things have been upgraded just like in real life?
Yeah, maybe they started off in a more rural sort of setting.
Since I still I don't know anything about, like, I don't know the stories of, like, Black and White, and, I haven't looked up the story for Y or X because I kind of want to play it on my own and find it out.
Just play that one.
But, they kept talking about, like, this war, and I'm like, there's a Pokemon battle?
That was
weird.
actually the first time that has ever been mentioned is in the Kalos region.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that, I didn't understand. I'm like, what war was this? When was this? Is this in the...
Yeah, that first time that has ever been mentioned was in the Kalos region. And it's not really a spoiler, since I don't think you're going to end up playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. But, at the very end of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, this is a spoiler for people who haven't played those games, maybe, but there's a segment called the Delta episode, and the Delta episode it's basically about Rayquaza, which is, that big green lizardy dragon thing.
Yeah.
But the whole segment is about the fact that there is a meteorite, or meteor in general, hurtling towards the Pokemon world. And they have to try and stop it. And there's a main corporation in the game called Devon Corp, and they have brought an idea to you that is basically, they have portals to other dimensions.
Oh, wow.
And they can open those up, and you can send the meteor through that. But then another girl shows up, and she says something that is basically along the lines of, if you send this to another world, what if you send it to a world that is just like this one? And of course, this is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so we've had Ruby and Sapphire before.
Right.
So, what if you sent it to another world that's just like this one, that doesn't have Mega Evolution, and can't stop this meteor?
She specifically says Mega Evolution?
Yes, that doesn't have Mega Evolution. So, a lot of people have been speculating ever since those games came out, and ever since the plotline of X and Y and how it's so much different from the other games.
Right.
They've been speculating that there are actually different universes, and we're only just now finding this out.
It makes a little bit more sense. I know, though, I was running around, I forgot where I was or which town I was. It made me giggle. It was just like, oh my gosh, that's funny. One like little lady in one of the Pokemon centers was like, "Oh, I met the grandson of
Gary
I
Oak.
met She doesn't say the name, but I met the grandson of Oak, and then she was like, he's really grown or something like that, but then she was like, but he still says smell you later after every sentence.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, they really brought back a lot of references in X and Y. There's it's a little bit spoilery, but you'll get to it eventually anyways. At the very end of the game, you can actually go and catch Mewtwo.
Again?
Yes.
Wait, there's only one Mewtwo,
There's
right?
only one Mewtwo.
And so that means if we're kind of keeping with the thing, Red never, or Blue, or whoever was the main, never caught any other Pokemon. But does that mean technically Gary or Blue ended up being the Pokemon League champion?
Well, he did in Gold and Silver, didn't he?
I thought it was specific to which one, because I remember my brother saying that.
I'm pretty sure that he did end up the
the
league champion in Gold and Silver.
I thought I thought if you played Gold, it was like Red was the champion.
I don't know. I only ever played Silver, so that might be the case there.
Yeah, see, so I mean, like, it seems like each game is a little bit different, because obviously you're playing Blue and Red, and then one of them obviously has to be switched.
No. It has to be the Gary or rival of whatever that game.
Right.
Because you can go and battle Red later on in Mount Silver.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he has to be the one that's the league champion there.
Okay, alright. So, does that mean Red never really caught Mewtwo, or, you're supposed to in the game? It's not like canon.
Technically, I don't think he caught him canonically to begin with, because when you start out Gold and Silver, you're playing as a new character, of course. When you get to fight Red, he doesn't have Mewtwo in his party, and when you go to Cerulean City, the cave is still there, and you can go and catch Mewtwo in it.
So Mewtwo has never been caught.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll probably ever have him caught, because he's
the other thing is, if we're going with the multi-dimensional universal theory that everyone has been having, people have been pointing out that if there's different worlds per generation, maybe every single game is its own universe.
Which means, like, Red and Blue is separate, different universes.
Yes.
Like, where you become the league champion, and Blue becomes the league champion, or, it's switched, obviously. Yeah. So that makes sense, kind of, in a way.
And the other thing is, when you trade with different people, you're trading to different universes. And that was actually something that is canonical.
Really?
Because in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Devon Corporation says that the dimensional thing that goes between worlds, the thing that they can send the meteor through, is called a link cable.
Really?
Yes.
The link cable.
The link cable.
Was
the
it
thing that connected Game Boy Colors and Game Boys together to trade things.
Seriously?
Yep. It's called the link cable.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, they did that.
That's so
it's
strange.
actually in the games.
Oh,
they
that's
did
funny.
that. So, every universe is its own thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the
every
link
game
cable is the time warp.
Yes. And it makes sense through the games, too, because as you're going through the games, I know I was always transferring my Pokemon up through games, and every time you got to one of the places that was transferring things, it was like, I'll transfer your Pokemon through time and space and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember now. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mind blown, right?
My god.
But we kind of got off track here.
Okay.
The new games are coming out. Pokemon Moon and Sun, or Sun and Moon, whichever you want to call it. A lot of people are saying Pokemon S&M.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I was thinking for Sun and Moon. I know they didn't do Z for
They did not do Z, but a really big thing that people have been pointing out is they have these different forms for Zygarde, which is the last legendary in Pokemon X and Y.
Right.
They have these different forms for it that were not in the games, that have been announced, that have been in the anime, and that there's a movie coming out for, but have not been in the games. So Pokemon Z didn't happen, but some people are speculating that this generation might end up being something like how Gold and Silver was to Red and Blue. Like, you know how you started off in Red and Blue, and then you started off in the Johto region, and you could go back to the other one. So people are thinking that this is going to be the same sort of thing.
That'd be huge.
You start out in this new, possibly, place, and it does seem like a new place, because there has been the artwork of at least one building in it that we haven't seen before. It seems like a tropical setting.
Tropical?
Yeah. But you might start off in that new place, and then you might be able to go back to Kalos, and that might be where you finally get to find out more about Zygarde.
Maybe
Potentially.
Do you think they'll add it in, like, later years? Z?
Pokemon Z. Well, see, the thing is, Junichi Masuda, which is one of the main creators of Pokemon, has said that he doesn't want to do things that are predictable. So he said in an interview, he was talking about things like Pokemon Gray and Pokemon Z and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, those were the most predictable things to do, and I don't want to follow the predictions, which is why instead of doing Pokemon Gray or Pokemon Z, we've heard about things like Pokemon Black and White 2, which was the first time that we ever got a game that was the same name with a 2 in it.
Yeah.
And then now we're getting Pokemon Sun and Moon instead of Pokemon Z.
Right.
So he is trying to do things that we don't expect.
Right.
So we can't just be sort of like, oh, this is going to happen next because it follows the pattern. He's actually breaking tradition a little bit.
Right. But it's not so bad. I mean, we're still getting Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, the story, the lore of this entire generations of Pokemon, it just keeps getting bigger. And what I've noticed about, like, running through some of the rooms, you just, like, barge into someone's house and you're like, hey, I'm gonna look
That's
look
probably
through
the one thing that I don't like about Pokemon games.
Oh, I love it. I love doing that. It's fantasy.
You can barge into people's houses and they don't
Hey, they're
care.
friendly.
They're all friendly, but it's like, do a lot of 10-year-olds just walk into your house on their Pokemon adventures?
Maybe.
Do you just normally do that? Is that
No.
just a thing in this world? Do you just all just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna... You know what? If that's the case, I don't really blame that one house in Cerulean City in the original games that got robbed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If that's
fault.
the case, it really is just the people in the Pokemon world's fault. Because
Well, here's the thing. What I thought. When you're looking around and you can find some bookshelves. There's one bookshelf, like, just it keeps popping up, and I keep thinking, what the hell is this about? It's pretty much your character's like, is this a book for Pokemon to read? Like,
oh yeah,
like, it's not. Like, my mom's like, well, what if it's just in a different language? I'm like, it doesn't seem like it would be, because our character would think, this looks like a different language. She would say, or she or he would say, this looks like a different language. What language is this? She's more saying, this looks like something Pokemon could read. Like, you wouldn't question that. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
they haven't really talked about anything like that in a long
it
time.
seems like
I don't really
Pokemon are starting
games.
to learn things, or we're starting to learn more about Pokemon, like, language-wise, as we're connected to Pokemon throughout the years.
Yep.
Because the connection part is mainly the big thing, where we need to connect
Friendship,
to Pokemon.
which is also why they created Pokemon Me.
Yeah.
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 You really are trying to build a bond with your Pokemon.
So getting to the point where we are starting to understand Pokemon's language, or we're starting to teach Pokemon a certain language? It
I don't know.
seems so strange for that to be in the... Yeah, I mean, it's like, this kid doesn't know about it. It's like, is this a book? I mean, like, it just... she or he would have known about the
Well, not
books.
really. I mean, it is still a kid.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there could be things that they just don't know about yet, you know?
Right. But then again, she still has her I'm saying her,
you know.
they have a mother that rides Rhyhorns.
Yeah,
And
the Rhyhorn Racer.
it just seems a little bit more like, throughout the years, if this was normal,
It would be more commonly...
yeah, and then as a little girl,
known.
she would return Pokemon or something.
Might
I
have,
don't
like,
know.
heard about it in school or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they have schools.
They do have schools.
In the first
and they have the
generation,
trainer
they have
schools, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have schools. I mean, they teach about Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it makes more sense if throughout the years, we've, as Pokemon trainers, have learned more about, Pokemon and their language and their, you know, not species, but, like, their, I guess their talk, like, the way they cry, the cry of them, you know,
Yeah.
the sounds they make.
Well, I mean, as you go through the games in the first place, you're basically told that you're still researching Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you start off the game and every single time it's a Pokemon professor saying, hey, can you go and research these Pokemon for me?
Seems like these Pokemon professors just don't want to do the dirty work.
Okay, but the other thing that I really have to point out here is, like, how is there a machine made that already knows what Pokemon it is as soon as you catch one?
I know, that's the thing.
Like, where
it's
does
like,
the information
you gotta go
come
out
from?
and do it. And it's like...
If you're really the one that's researching these Pokemon, where is that information coming from? Like, these are new Pokemon that no one knew about, and you're going out and researching them and collecting the data, where is the data coming from? It must have already been on there. Maybe the professor is just being like, yeah, you're researching him, buddy. Go ahead. Pats
Go
your
learn.
head and just like, yeah, go ahead.
You're on your own this one. But no, I mean, maybe it's because that more Pokemon, newer Pokemon, like, no, I almost said Clefairy. Oh my god. Clefairy! No.
First generation newer Pokemon.
No, I meant, Sylveon.
Sylveon.
New Poke. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just pink. Just thought of pink. I'm like, yeah, that one. That's a new Pokemon.
It is a new Pokemon.
It wasn't in the old one, or the one before,
right.
X and Y.
And neither was
Right.
fairy typing.
Right. So, is the point of the professor saying, really the professor should just say, go look for fairy types, because we need those in our, you know.
Yeah, but either way,
It's
like,
still in
where
the
is
Pokedex.
the
Yeah.
information
I know, it
coming?
is still in the Pokedex, but it's more like, I guess it's more like, we still need to learn about their habitats in this region?
Yeah, see,
think that's
that's
it.
the only part that I think that really is being researched. I think it's more of like, you need to go out and see what Pokemon are in what region and catch them and find information like that. And actually, in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire...
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah,
you can have that
there
weird
is
thing.
a thing on your bottom screen that has like a little map that tells you what Pokemon are in the area. And if you've caught them, then the silhouette is filled in and colored and you know what's there. But otherwise, it's just a silhouette of the Pokemon.
See, that makes sense. And I was gonna say, I was gonna say that because that makes more sense to fill out your Pokedex because this is where they're living.
Yeah,
You
learning
know.
the habitats. You're going on an adventure, you're learning where the Pokemon are.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, what food is in the area for the Pokemon.
Yeah,
Or
berries.
something like that. Yeah.
Berries, certain, like the mutation thing in berries.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they still, like, a research came up to me, and I was like, oh, shit, this lady, I don't know who it is. She was like, I want you to do the berry thing. I'm like, oh, goddamn, I don't want to do it, really. But, alright. Berries, there. I mean, it's just, and they do specific things for the Pokemon, so,
Yes.
you know, obviously Pokemon berries.
Right.
So, with mutations, growing with berries, do you think it's mainly, like, do you think they, like, go towards the berry area? Or, like, I mean, there's, like, berry trees scattered really far apart, but, I mean...
I think that some Pokemon would go towards berries, but there are also other Pokemon that have...
Water
me.
Pokemon, obviously.
Well, no, there are other Pokemon that have specific Pokemon that they'll eat, even. Like, there's one Pokemon called Durant, and it is it's a steel-type ant-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another Pokemon that I can't remember the name of right now, but it's like an anteater.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it eats Durants.
See, yeah, you know, like, it's just, it seems like evolution. Pretty much evolution right
Yeah,
there.
it's basically just normal animal habitats
so,
and
like,
what they eat. And
imagine
stuff like
if some of your berries start making, you start getting, what's it called? Just had it too. Mutations.
Mutations.
If it started
Yes.
getting mutations and it's not fulfilling the Pokemon's needs, you know, they gotta move or, you know.
Yeah.
So,
They switch regions, maybe even,
that's
which
probably,
is possibly why there's so many different Pokemon in each region. which we haven't really seen before, or that haven't existed in that region before, but are suddenly there, or something like that.
I mean, there's a couple of, like, entries that
like, maybe that's why Mewtwo is in the new place. Maybe that's why he's in Kalos, because he's moved.
Because the other areas are not just deserted, but, like, not fitting his specific needs of evolution.
Yeah, not fitting his needs.
Because he's already... He's man-made.
Yes.
Technically. So, he evolves differently.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't evolve.
Right.
But he, as, like, a specimen...
He's different than other Pokemon.
Yeah, so I guess he would have to move around. I mean, we find Pokemon that were in Generation 1 in areas.
Yeah, in Kalos, yeah.
So, it must be...
They might migrate, they might look for different food and stuff like that. By the way, on the point of man-made Pokemon, there was actually a new Pokemon released.
Really?
Yes. Magearna is the name. And it's kind of like, it kind of looks like well, the bottom half of it kind of looks like a Pokeball, but cut open at the bottom.
What?
And it's kind of like a little skirt for it.
Aww.
And then the top half of it, its torso is like a little circle with something in the middle of it. And then it has a round head that's shaped like a gear.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird.
So it's man-made?
Yes, it is called the man-made Pokemon. That is the most that we know about it. But it is called the man-made Pokemon. That was the Koro, the main Pokemon magazine sort of place. The place that Sarah gets all their information from, basically. It said on that magazine, where Magearna was first talked about, that it's called the man-made Pokemon.
How strange.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. Was it Giovanni that was making Pokemon?
Giovanni was the one that made Mewtwo, but there's actually been more man-made Pokemon since
right. I mean,
you've been playing. There's like another one that's called Genesect, which was created from another Pokemon. I think it's Kabutops? The one with the scythes, the fossil Pokemon.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. I think it's that, except it was created by, like... it was made into more of, like, a machine. It has, like, a weapon on its back, and...
so scary.
Not a weapon. It's more like a slot, like a cartridge slot, basically. And you can gather these different things and put them into the cartridge slot, and it'll change things about Genesect.
That's so creepy.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty creepy.
Obviously, that's not right. And I guess that's, like, a hot topic in Pokemon, where it's, like, is making man-made Pokemon dangerous? And that's where, like, I guess for a war kind of thing, you're trying to...
Yeah, for the war, the big thing about the war was the ultimate weapon.
Right.
And, you know, if you're making ultimate weapons... Maybe that's what Magearna was.
Right.
Or maybe the ultimate weapon was something...
Maybe Mew was supposed to be an ultimate weapon, but, you know.
Well, Mew was more
Or Mewtwo, I'm sorry.
Mewtwo, yes. Mewtwo is a weapon.
Right.
Mewtwo is a weapon, Genesect is a weapon.
Right.
Maybe Magearna is in the same sort of line. Either
really?
It was a weapon or... The other thing that people are speculating about Magearna is since it's shaped like a Pokeball, maybe it was born from a Pokeball or something like that.
Like the genetic coding
started
something
creating
like
something
that. Like from a DNA that was in a Pokemon.
Yeah.
So kind of like that Pokemon or that Pokeball gave birth, literally.
Kind of.
It's
like
reformed
Mew
its
gave
DNA.
birth to Mewtwo, except
Right.
that didn't really happen.
Right.
It was more of a genetic manipulation.
Right.
But
okay.
yes, so people are speculating that this Pokemon was created to catch other Pokemon.
Scary.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. It's really
so,
odd.
I mean, like you see these genetically made Pokemon, and it's like throughout the years you keep seeing newer ones, and it's like this is obviously again the hot topic, but it seems like it might be leading up to in later. I don't know if it's going to do a moon or
in Moon and Sun and Moon.
But maybe in later years we're going to S&M. We're probably going to start hearing about these things that were made or like throughout the years. People have been trying to make weapons.
Well, maybe that's what we're going to hear about in Sun and Moon.
Yeah,
maybe that's what Magearna is going to be. We're going to hear more about people making man-made Pokemon.
It's not
making
going to be
ultimate
Pokemon.
weapons.
It's going to be about not war. It's not going to be about the war. It's going to be about creating war.
Yeah.
Creating, like, just like in society, we build tanks to defend, we build guns, we build better weapons.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, it's like...
We're hearing about all of these wars that happened in the past, we're hearing about all of these natural disasters that happened in the past and stuff like that, so maybe we're going to start hearing about the people who actually made those man-made Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like in real life. I mean, Pokemon in real life, obviously there's a line there, but there is like just...
It's following it at least a little bit.
I mean, it's not super fantasy. Like, it's not like, oh, this is zombies run the world because, you know, mutation? I don't know. It's like, you know, it's still Earth.
It's talking about the same sort of issues that our world has.
Humans have.
Wars, or actually Black and White and Black and White 2, you wouldn't know this because you didn't play them. Those were about morality in catching Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
They were about the morality behind if capturing Pokemon and having them battle each other was right.
Okay.
And it explained that, and it went through that, and it talked about how it's all about the friendship aspect of it, and the Pokemon are fine with it.
And is that why in X and Y, I got to the Poke Factory, and spoiler alert, the guy's like, if we don't have Pokemon, or if we don't have Pokeballs, we can't make friends with Pokemon. It's like,
that
wow!
was really interesting.
That is interesting.
Because that really implies...
It's not, that implies it's not being about catching and battling, it's being about having companions and friends.
No, but that really implies that the Pokeballs are the things that are altering a Pokemon's mind and making them friendly towards you. Maybe we can't normally be friends with Pokemon.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense because I was, it was a sword, I think? It's a Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay.
There's Aegislash, Doublade, and Honedge.
Yeah.
That's backwards in the evolutionary line, but...
But no, I mean, I was like, okay, sword, sure, catch it.
By the way, in case you were curious, Honedge turns into Doublade, which is just two swords.
Yeah, I noticed.
And then that turns into Aegislash, which is a sword holding a shield.
Oh, God. Goddamn. But what I noticed about it, I think it's the sword one where it says, I might be wrong, I have no idea, I forget. It says if you touch its, like, sheath or something.
Oh, it has like a little tail sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like it'll wrap around your arm or something and it'll suck the energy from you?
Yeah, it'll cut your, I think it says it'll cut your arm off for humans. It said specifically.
It's pretty dark.
That is.
So maybe that's why we can befriend those kind of Pokemon.
Right.
Maybe the Pokeballs give us the opportunity to befriend them. Maybe that's why people battle wild Pokemon in the first place. Maybe you have to make them faint or else, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like, yeah, I understand Pokemon if you're comparing from real world and Pokemon world, they're animals.
They are animals.
An animal will attack you if you're pretty much, you don't want to go up to a Pokemon like Pikachu.
You don't want to step on something's tail and bother it.
You don't want to go up to Pikachu and start pulling its tail. He's gonna... Yeah. In fact, wasn't it... No, Pikachu, if you touch its tail, it will electrocute you. That's the...
You know another thing that I just realized? Pikachu, in the anime...
Did not like his Pokeball.
Didn't like his Pokeball.
No, he didn't.
And he was always horrible to Ash in the beginning.
So he had to build a real friendship.
They had to build an actual friendship instead of just being caught and...
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Theories, man.
Theories!
Yeah.
So many theories. This is basically a theories video at this point.
But, like, hey, look, I mean, Pokemon are animals in that world.
Yes.
Obviously, they don't want to be prodding and, like, touching. It's like, come on, leave the Pokemon alone.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They do jump out at you.
Yeah, they jump out.
I was walking around in the game, I'm like, oh, God, stupid Pokemon popping out of nowhere out of the grass. But that's the thing. I understand.
Have you gotten to the part of the game where things, like, literally will come out of nowhere, like, not in the grass? Because there's a part in the game that while you're walking places, like, a shadow will dart out from somewhere and start attacking you. And
That's
it's just
creepy.
a wild Pokemon.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
I know. I
don't actually know if that's in X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but I know it's in one of the two of them.
That's scary.
Yeah.
But no, I got to the part where I keep going back to get all the Pokemon for some stupid reason.
No, I understand.
I gotta catch them all.
I understand.
I
actually have caught them all, by the way.
She's got that filled.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I used to just blow through the games. You know?
You're actually going back and trying to catch them.
I'm doing it properly. So, but I mean, I'm at the point where like there's like this road and there's like leaves on the floor and I was walking around and I'm like, I'm safe here. I'm like, imagine if something popped out though, and then just a dude popped out and I was like, this is not a Pokemon, but this is a Pokemon battle. What the hell, man? He's like, I'm in the leaves. I'm like, yeah, you are. You freak. But I mean, it's just, I didn't step on the dude. I just walked past his thing. So it makes
pop out of leaves.
It makes sense that it's not like you're stepping on Pokemon in the grass. They're just coming at you.
You walk past them and they encounter you.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
it's
happens.
we don't see it. We don't see that there's Pokemon literally being stepped on, or you're in its slot.
Sometimes you can step on them. In X and Y, there is a part where you ride a Rhyhorn.
Yeah, and you can
step on them.
On one of them.
It says it jumped out because you stepped on it, basically.
But when you're walking around, it just says a wild Pokemon appeared.
Yeah.
So that means it comes for you, which means they're hostile, kind of territorial.
Potentially hostile, definitely territorial.
Yeah. So anything. I mean, so obviously they're not right off the bat friendly.
So Pokeballs might be what creates that friendship, and that might be why Ash had such an issue with Pikachu
in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how
it did come from a
Pokeball.
Out. It came from inside of a Pokeball.
But he rejected that Pokeball.
He rejected it entirely.
I don't know if that... I remember hearing about how you have to have the same exact Pokeball. Because you know how when you throw a Pokeball, it didn't catch it, and then you're like, well, why waste that Pokeball? Pick it up, dude. I think it's because of the coding.
There's a bonding mechanism inside of them.
I heard that
when you try to catch them, sometimes it might fail and it literally says they break free.
Yeah. So it might be that I was thinking there's a coding because Ghastly, you know how Ghastly possesses things. Yes. All of the Pokemon possess
There's
things.
a lot of different Pokemon with a lot of really weird, horrible Pokedex entries.
Yeah, it's just terrifying. But I mean, you get the point of the fact that you've heard about that theory that Voltorb? Yeah, he is a Ghastly that got stuck in a Pokeball.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember.
That's interesting.
No, I remember talking to my brother about that, and I was like, "Hey, you think about this?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's strange. But have you ever thought about Clefairy and what's his name? The other one that Gengar.
Clefairy and Gengar, yes. Clefairy and Gengar, there's another
Gengar's
theory
shadow.
about them, yes.
They do look similar. And
my
brother was like,
yeah,
think about this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fact that Ghastly got stuck in a Pokeball is because he wasn't caught properly.
Yeah, potentially.
Which means...
Which might be why it's so angry. Maybe that's why it tries to self-destruct all the time.
Yeah, which is sad, and you can't really just pick them back up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it seems more like the coding always gets stuck to one Pokemon's, you know how they have an entry, kind of? It seems like that's a coding. Like ones and zeros, and that's how they're... I mean, you can't just shove a Pokemon into a little tiny Pokeball. I mean, they get not absorbed, but put in a database, like a computer.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Pokemon banks in general.
Yeah, they're
really odd. Yeah.
Wasn't the fact that
there's actually
explained what that was?
Well, no, there was not really. It hasn't really been described. It's only been described as a place to store Pokemon. There's never really been it's more of Pokemon are digitalized, God,
right.
And put in here, but
that's what I read. I remember saying they're digitalized.
Yes. Speaking, we can do it, I swear.
But they're that's odd for a Pokemon. I don't know if you can catch a human. I don't know if it's been tried, but it's their genetics are reacting with a coding in the Pokeball, and that's why Ghastly is stuck in it because he can't get out of it because pretty much it malfunctioned, kind of.
Yeah. Now we're getting into Pokemon horror stories,
Whoa,
basically. By the
spooky.
way, there was another YouTuber. I don't remember who it was at this point. If I find that out, I will put it in the description down below, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it again. Another Pokemon YouTuber in general was talking about the theory, like, in just what are Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, are they data? Are they animals that we're capturing and basically enslaving? But if that's the case, then why did Black and White go over the whole enslaving thing and say, no, we're not enslaving Pokemon,
Yeah,
we're
so if they're
befriending
not
them.
really data, they're not, then that means why would they go after the fact that they're real?
Yeah, it's really odd. No one really knows what Pokemon are. I kind of want Sun and Moon to kind of go into that.
Yeah, I mean, we
'Cause
saw
I think
the
they've
Pokeball Factory, but we didn't hear what the
I think
Pokeball
they've
Factory
honestly
was.
been building up to explain all of the mysteries that we haven't known before. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing with the dimensional portals and stuff, explaining that there are different universes, which also might have just been Nintendo going, well, this is why there's Mega Evolution and Fairy typing suddenly.
Yeah,
But-
here's the story.
But at the same time, that might be why that was done. It might also be why they were talking about link cables and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to give a reasoning for trading existing in the
They're trying
world.
to make
They're trying
to make Pokemon and our real life make sense.
Yeah, they're
Which
trying
is
to make sense
kind
of all of their games and stuff like that.
Kinda
So
like
maybe
how Pokemon Go is, like, it's gonna be, like, the Pokemon Go is supposed to be like, oh, a Pokemon is near you and whatever, and you're supposed to go and catch it.
Yes.
It's more like making Pokemon in our world reality, you know? And that's not bad, it's just, it's really getting similar. Our world and Pokemon's world is similar in certain ways. You know, like the link cable, because, you know, obviously they are trying to say this was a thing. But didn't they say that someone made the link cable? I forgot. In X and Y.
I think
Someone said
actually
something about that.
in Red and Blue, they even said that someone created the link cable.
Oh, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you go over to the thing and they're like, oh, if you use the link cable, blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
yeah, the link cable. Actually, yeah, that was canonically the thing that let you transfer between games.
Yeah, the
which
link. They actually did say the link cable,
Yeah.
right? So, wow, they had everything
Yeah,
planned.
yeah. But yes, I think that's probably enough for Pokemon theorizing.
Aw.
It is Pokemon Day. We have talked about it for 40 minutes now, though.
Ooh,
Pretty much 40,
40
maybe even more than that. I
Hey, who
haven't
knows?
really been counting that much. But there is something that you wanted to talk about, too.
yes. So I have been getting into this with. I mean, Amber understands. You know, I am really not super pissed. I'm a little angry at Suicide Squad. Like, yeah, just Suicide Squad.
Suicide
It's
Squad.
just
And of course, for anyone that doesn't know, for anyone who only came here for Pokemon theories or something like that, Suicide Squad is...
pretty much DC Universe with Harley Quinn. I don't know the others. I always forget them.
Yeah, Suicide Squad was its own comic, as far as I am aware.
Yeah. It's been getting a little bit popular. I remember the one that I remember. It was recent. It was the Attack on Arkham, and that was pretty interesting. I liked it. They
It
already
looks pretty interesting. I haven't actually read any of those. And
It
I
was-
haven't read Suicide Squad itself
well,
either.
the Attack on Arkham was they made a cartoon version movie,
Right.
And it was really good. It looked nice. It looked great. Harley Quinn still looked like herself, kind of. I mean, she had like kind of like jeans with a short crop top.
yeah, I think I saw the
But
picture.
she still was similar to herself, or
Yeah.
her old self, but just, you know, getting updated and, you know. But,
A little bit sexier, but,
yeah.
you know, why not?
yeah. But
Might as well.
she even says that, oh, crap, not again, you know, so obviously that was supposed to be a throwback to, they're still doing the Suicide Squad, which
Right.
is, the government was supposed to, pretty much is using convicts to get their dirty work done.
Right.
So, you know, so obviously that movie was supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's still going on, we're just learning about it, and then this new movie's coming out, and I mean, I already saw the movie, pretty much. It was a good movie, gritty, kind of. Very, very gritty. I mean, you see Harley Quinn almost naked. Oh, no, she was naked. You know, she's just being her. She hated the Joker. But, I mean, it wasn't so, like, she just needed her needs to be filled because she was pissed at Joker. And it was, like, obviously why she's pissed. And at one point she, they're trying to get in, they're breaking into, like, spoilers, they're breaking into, Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, for some reason, Joker has his own little cell where they bring in, you know, it is, like, near the entrance, or not near the entrance, but, like, they bring in, like, people through that area. It's like, why would you do that? And she, like, he's making fun of her, and she's just, like, you know, she's supposed to play that she's getting caught.
Right.
Which is not, you know, she could take care of herself. At one point, she gets super pissed. She just flips over her, like, she's handcuffed in the back, and she just flips over, and, like, she grabs the security guard's gun, and she just starts shooting at Joker.
Oh, God.
But since he has, like, this, bulletproof glass, you know, she's just pissed and shooting at it, and he's just like, ha ha ha, you know. And she's all like, well, she's pissed because he hit her, he not just hit her, he threw her out of her, I think her car, or a car, and, you know, she was like, this is the last straw.
Do you really remember this?
I don't remember if it was hers, or if it was, because you know how she has that, crazy car?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's like,
what is it exactly that you didn't like?
About this thing?
Yes,
yeah,
Suicide Squad.
It just seems so, like, DC just seems like they want to make Marvel movies, like, very good movies that are just great, and it's like, they're not helping anyone with this look of Harley. I mean, she's dumb, and,
so I think the main problem here is that Harley looks like a teen pop star that's half naked.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know how they're gonna be with the other characters,
but she does look like that in the Suicide Squad comic, as far as I'm aware, kind of.
I mean,
it's close, not quite, but
this one looks more like she is. This one looks like she's not Harley Quinn yet. She looks like she just started breaking into the role of a bad girl on the streets.
The problem that I have had with Suicide Squad Harley is that, as far as I've heard, the whole Suicide Squad plot for Harley is that basically she got... It was like the Joker was the only reason that she survived something, or something like that. So he was like her reason to live, or something like that. Oh,
no, you're talking about the comic book part.
Yes.
Yeah, when they did the New 52s, I didn't like that either. Because here's the thing. Yeah, I remember talking to you about this. Harley Quinn started from the animated series.
Yes.
She was not a comic book character. She was not. She was specifically made for the animated series, and she wasn't even
meant to be that popular.
She was just going to be a write-off character.
Yeah.
But what happened was she was super popular.
Yeah, everyone loved Harley.
I loved Harley. I loved her. I loved the bad girls in the animated series.
Yeah.
I loved Catwoman. I loved Poison Ivy, and with Harley, those two made the greatest team, because not only was Harley, I mean, she's dumb. Yeah, when she's the Joker, she starts getting a little bimbo-y stupid.
It's not really that she's dumb. It's
glassy eyes.
She makes mistakes.
Yeah,
she's human. Yeah.
And Joker, you know, hits her for that, but
she seems like she's almost like a slave to the Joker in Suicide Squad.
But even in the there's that cat.
I know,
so
the cat
cute.
is meowing again.
Ah.
Meow. Oh, yes, okay.
Well, I mean, even in the animated series, when she's with Poison Ivy, she's like, she can take care of herself. She's really, she's deadly.
When she's with Poison Ivy, honestly, she's at her best.
Yeah, she is at her best. She is at her best alone. She can take care of herself. She knows what she's doing. She's not goo eyes for, you know, something. Like, she's pretty much distracted by Joker.
I think Harley in the animated series is, of course, the one that I got exposed to first.
Yeah.
And that's, of course, when I fell in love with Harley in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did, too.
Harley is great, and, of course, you can tell that Rachel likes Harley just from this picture that's on the screen right now. this whole outfit design for her was actually based on Harley Quinn.
Yes, I just love her. I mean, everything about her. It's like, look, she is smart. She's not
She's
playing
very
dumb.
smart. She's had a reason for being with the Joker.
Yeah.
In the animated series too, because it was pity.
Yeah,
it was
very much
honestly pity because she went through this whole thing with him. She worked at a asylum, I think.
Yeah,
It was an asylum.
Yeah, she was working there.
She worked there, and she was a psychologist, and she went in and she talked to the Joker, and he manipulated the hell out of her.
The thing about the Joker is you can't really rehabilitate him.
Yes,
you can't because
he's completely insane, really.
Right. Well,
but
the thing with him is he hates authority figures, and to him, she was pretty much a little bit of an authority figure. So he breaks her down.
Yes.
And turns her into pretty much a slave.
But he did it in a way that made her think it was her decision.
Yeah. So that
and she did technically choose to be with him.
And she still
chose,
does.
But he manipulated her. In Suicide Squad, as far as I know, she didn't choose. She got pushed into a vat of toxic waste
pretty much what happened with him.
And then he pulled her out, and the only way that she would have survived is him pulling her out of the toxic waste, which completely took away her options.
Yeah.
She wasn't the one that chose that life. He chose it for her.
He pretty much made her crazy in the New 52.
You could argue that he chose her life for her as she was a psychologist too, but she went through all of her reasoning for it.
Yeah.
She had reasons. She had motivation.
She was still human. She had a human side towards him.
Yes.
I mean, yes, she is crazy. She will kill people, but she has a human side to him. She loves him, where he loves her to a point where
he loves her as a tool.
Yeah, if he doesn't need her
working for him, I know that at one point in the animated series, he shoved her out of a building.
Yeah, that's the point where she was like, that's it, I'm done. I think that was her backstory.
I'm pretty sure that was the point where she realized that he didn't really love her.
And then he tricks her again by sending her a flower with get well soon.
Yeah, and she fell for it.
Yeah.
She fell for it. And she still went back to him.
Yeah, because...
But that is still her choice. She made mistakes. They were human mistakes. But in Suicide Squad, she didn't make those mistakes. He just forced it on her.
Yeah. I mean, even with, Batman as kind of cold in the animated series when he was like that.
He is.
He is not a hero. I mean,
Also, have you seen how many scenes there are in the animated series of Batman getting kisses from girls?
Yeah.
Poison Ivy kissed him, Harley kissed him, so many kisses.
Yeah.
There's a video of that on YouTube, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
there's a video of how many kisses he's had in the animated series.
But I mean, as cold and dark as he is, it was even, emphasized how really rogue he is in the attack on Arkham. He was beating people to pulps. I mean, he won't kill them, but man, he definitely made probably broke some guy's skull. I have that you would see blood, and my dad was I mean, we're all watching this as a family. It was pretty funny, but my dad's God, this is bloody for a cartoon, you know.
It really was.
That's the thing with the cartoon. You can really show a different side, whereas you're playing it, live action, you're playing as humans, and you have to, kind of show your human side to the audience. And that's,
right.
You can't do so,
She seems
obviously.
really fake.
Yeah.
She seems really fake. And I hate to interrupt here, but honestly, I would like to try and keep these episodes to an hour each.
Yeah, I know.
And we are just about at that limit, unfortunately. So, we talked way too long about Pokemon. We need to limit ourselves on how long we talk about things. But that is it, I think, for this time. That is as much as we can get across this time.
And since this was our first one, I guess...
We're a little bit distracted.
Dipping our toes in there.
Yeah,
there's a cat outside.
There's a cat
so
meowing
cute.
And trying to get our attention.
Oh, they're so cute.
Meow, meow. I wonder if you can hear. If you can hear that, I am sorry for the cat meowing.
It's cute.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of VoxelVixens.
VoxelVixens, I love it.
I know it's a terrible name.
It is, but
It'll work. It works.
It's cute for us.
It works. It's good for us.
We're nerdy.
We are really, really fucking nerdy.
So
we just talked about Pokemon and Suicide Squad for an hour long. So that will be it for this episode. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you really liked it, then subscribe, because we're hopefully going to be doing these every week.
Yes, and leave us comments for, what you want to hear. Or
if you like to hear us talk about specific things, leave us a topic to try
we'll
and
look
talk
into
about.
it.
Yeah, we might do, like, fan suggestions as a segment.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Alright, so that will be it, guys. We will see you next time.
Bye!